Hello, everyone. My name is Phineas, and I want to introduce my older brother, Jonathan, also known as Jameer. Um, he's known as being a hip hop soul artist turned real estate investor, and he's someone I admired since I was young, and someone who actually introduced me to the game of music and community events and stuff, kind of like this. This is kind of inspired by what he does in the real estate realm because he has something called a roundtable where he has all these different investors in different areas, whether it's business, finance, construction, and musicians, artists, labels, and they're all in the bar just chatting, eating, and networking. And I kind of told him about this during the pandemic. I was like, yo, I want to do something like this. And this is before we even had this space. So this is kind of like a inspiration of kind of what he's doing. But I'm doing it here. Obviously, I want to bring people from outside of Lynchburg to come here and share their story because it's very inspirational. And it's kind of like our little TED Talk situation. So I want to give it up to Jonathan, Jameer, Robert. Come on now, man. Come on, bro. I'm going to have you get set up.
Hello, everybody. Hello. How you guys doing? All right. Virginia in the building. How's everybody doing today? Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
All right, thank you. So this is not planned. All right, yo, so this is not planned. We talked for hours. He ate my food. He played with all my kids till they're tired. So everything here, again, this is off the cuff. You good?
Good.
Let me put a little less reverb. But yeah, I feel like this is a long time in the making because even though we have our quarrels, I learned a lot from you. So everyone don't know who you are. They only see me. I talk about you online. I network. I always tag post you and Renee because all the real estate memes and the inspirational breakdown of stuff online. But I want you guys to listen to the story because it's very interesting. That's why I have him here. So just explain, man, like how did you get into the game of music? How did you get into the industry?
Well, first I want to say hello to everybody in the room. Good afternoon. I'm so happy to be in your city. My name is Jameer. This is my brother, as he said before. I'm from Brooklyn, New York, born and raised. I'm Caribbean American. I'm a musician not trade, I guess. Love.
By birthright.
Love music. So I started out singing. I grew up in Brooklyn in the 90s, which for us, the backdrop of that era for us growing up, we grew up in the church, so it was pretty much of a routine weekend for 15 years of your life from age 5 to like 16. You had your schedule, your things you had to do, which is okay. I didn't know by attending that, you go, you pick something up, you like singing or you like music, and then it provides the platform for everyone to express and share. Then you have a mass choir, a children's choir, the adult choir, and you find yourself in the activity because that's your life, and that's pretty much how I grew up. But I truly believe that, it's a gift that even when I wasn't singing and doing music, something about how I feel connected to music just keeps calling me. So it was more than an affinity. It was more so something I realized was calling at an early age. But, I just want to say that I'm very happy to be here, by the way, and happy to see everybody today. And I'm just really grateful to share. But I grew up singing my entire life. It's not something that I think about. I did realize later on as I began to mature, as there were other routes that I could have taken, that sometimes the thing that you're very natural with is not the thing that you will be successful in first, because I could sing upside down, right? But
you actually do.
Yeah, but I didn't. It's not. It's like you. It's not about singing. So I've since developed and learned, and I think that's some of the things we're going to talk about. It is about the love for creating and expressing myself, more so than it is to be like a social media influencer or like your favorite pop star.
Yeah. So based on that, like one thing we in our household, we had these rituals that we had. We went to church and stuff. But one thing I want to point out, like we just had a conversation about this earlier. I did not know. He reminded me when I told you guys last time when he was here. He taught me how to record. Like, so we stole our brother's tape recorder.
We didn't steal. We borrowed.
We borrowed it. We just never returned it. And he taught me how to multi-track record from cassette to cassette, as taking mom's worship tapes and then we doing overdubs. And this is when I'm like 6, and I didn't know, of course, as I got older. Oh, he taught me how to multi-track record. And this is before I knew Pro Tools or Logic or whatever. So him and I just jamming in the house, just singing the Sade and Hezekiah Walker and Anita Baker. Like, he's pushing me like Joe Jackson, like, yo, you better sing it right,
Yeah.
I was never a singer. He always pushed me to do that. But if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be doing music stuff, like in the industry, like being curious and stuff. As you see, fixing the things.
That's so interesting. And yeah. I wanna that's really freaking cool.
It's true, man.
So our elder brother, so I have there are 3 of us. There's 4 of us. I have one sister and an elder brother, and I have this guy here. He, shout out to him. Hip hop is now officially 50 years old. So
yeah,
we're gonna date him. We're not gonna date him. So he had a karaoke machine. This is 89, 90, and back in the day, you guys are so young, you probably don't know what a karaoke machine or a side A or side B. It's like dinosaurs, right?
Yeah.
So there was a machine similar to that height, that size, and there were 2 cassette tapes. There was a side A and a side B. If you press record on side A, you can record on side B and your vocal would overlap. So I would harmonize with myself, and I needed like a 5th. And I said, sing this part. And it's not something that he wanted to do, but it was something that was around.
We did it together. It was fun.
It's just natural curiosity for what's inside of your house. And it's interesting to see that, you're right. You didn't take the path as a vocalist, but regarding hardware and the technical aspect of music, that's
but you helped me get an ear for learning parts and like, oh, that's wrong, so that's good. That's the technical side, not being trained in it, but know how to do it, but it's not what you do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's interesting. Anywhere you're from, I think creativity can happen. And that's why I think technology today is pretty cool for us to, give our kids technology and allow them to play, and see how they can create things, whether it's an app. But today, they're very glued to their devices. Back in the day, we had, time to go outside and play, and it was a balance. But imagine how much more can be created now with the tools that everybody has. And we just worked off of a karaoke machine, and, now you're managing, hardware, and you're mixing and mastering. That's cool.
Yeah, so leading that, because that was kind of like the first leadership. I felt the second leadership that I realized, this is when, and correct me if I'm wrong, so during church, he's like the guy who sings tenor, soprano, and alto. Yes, he held it down if he wanted to. When you was like 15, 16, you started your own group. That's when I first saw like, wow, like you led other people. Like these are people 2x, 3x our age coming to the basement of the house. And these are people who are like, now they're playing for like Grammy, like award-winning artists, like MDing them. They know him. He's that guy. So like they're coming out. This is when they're like, coming to eat mom's food, come downstairs and like, play. Like what made you feel like, I want to start my own thing? Like, forget church. I want to do my own group. Like what made you feel like I got to do this for myself?
I think are there any artists in the building or creative energy people in the building? Okay.
Put your hand up.
So
yeah.
And that could look like, for me, may have been singing and grabbing whatever sibling or cousin to, teach them apart. For you, it could have been, creating something, but I think for me, there's just been a passion to have a full expression, and I kind of check out when I am singing, because I feel like that's my way of connecting to the divine, to connecting to God quickly, and like, okay, highway, I'm right there, So I tune out, and I really believe singing, just like dancing, are healthy for people to do. We all sing when we're babies, when we dance when we're babies. It's the most freeing, relaxing, human thing to do. And the genre doesn't matter. So I found that earlier on, when I've been able to make connections with people singing, I realized that, hey, in high school, you joined the chorus, and then you're known as the chorus kid, and you're sitting at the chorus table and they're banging the tables, making beats and singing. So you get to build your confidence as, this is who I am within the space, and I'm aware of who I am. So I've always liked to bring out the best in other people and say, okay, well, now you try this, let me hear you. And, push people to sing and to feel free. So I just think that's just something that I will always have and like to do. So I think that's where that came from. Just realizing that, even as an example, even in the church choir, when there were people who had stronger voices versus the people who didn't have stronger voices, they would still come to rehearsal because we're all communal. Because we like singing. There's a fun in getting dressed up and putting your suit on for Easter and being part of this production, and you have a job to do. You're part of something, so you sing. You may not sound great, but you're singing.
Yeah.
So, the ones who are stronger vocally are gonna, help you or whatever. But so it's not really, who sounds better. It's just, let's just all express. And I think that's kind of where I take it from, and I just do my thing.
Yeah. Heavy influenced by him, by that. So now let's talk about.
Oh, I forgot. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
We left the infrastructure of where we came from. So our parents are Haitian. My mother is from Haiti. My father's from Haiti. Very reserved, traditional mindset. However, I asked who's the creative, because I guess you can say I'm a black sheep now, but back then I was just left from everybody else, but that's okay. And within the culture, there were tiers. So the way that our parents, has anybody been to a Catholic church? No.
But you've seen Catholic churches on TV,
okay,
how everything was so structured and everything had an
I'm
order.
going to break it down to you. There's a black church, then there's a Catholic church. Catholic church is very laid back, reserved. In the black church, is a bit more excitement, a bit more fervor, as far as like the expressionism and the space to allow for that, as opposed to another more reserved service style.
Right, yeah.
So what happens is, my parents were very conservative, but the younger kids in our generation, and this is the 90s, and we're from Brooklyn, so Biggie's on the radio, SWV, I Get So Weak is on the radio. We're hearing all the influences of
block parties, Spike Lee's throwing these block
our
parties. Our
parents
downtown.
didn't want us listening to any of that
None
devil
of that.
music.
Yeah.
with the drums, because drums were too
A connotation for voodoo, spiritual stuff.
Well, according to some of the, very old school, antiquated religious ideas, but then you still learn, drums are, they keep the cadence to the song, keep the time to the song. So what happened is, the church was very old school and they removed the drums.
So you just had piano.
And I got mad because the music wasn't the same. And I went on this war, me against this church who's been a church for 60 years, and here I am, this little teenager. But I'm like, but where are the drums?
But you know what's crazy though? What's funny, as we're transitioning to the business side of things, you, Levi, my cousin, they'll sneak to other churches like Kirk Franklin, or not Kirk Franklin, James Hall or Hezekiah, and he's too young to go to these because they're like jamming until like 1 o'clock in the morning, and he's coming back with tapes, and like you have the group and stuff. So in a way, I saw him create a production, create his own little family thing, kind of like Kirk Franklin thing. And the Haitian, like, is one of those prominent Haitian Baptist churches.
Yeah.
And like, if you go to New York, is like downtown Brooklyn, right? Where
it is trademark.
It's trademark. It's like basically if you came from Haiti and you got saved, you Christ, you go to that church. And that church begat a lot of churches in Philadelphia and in Florida and Canada.
Jersey,
so it's like a mothership church.
It's the hub.
It's like the Thomas Road churches. It's like the black, So
Shout out to 209 Claremont Avenue,
Yeah.
Speaking Baptist Church. It's in Clinton Hills, Brooklyn. It's a landmark church, and the founders did very well.
Right.
Migrated from Haiti, owning in Fort Greene, which is like a brownstone historical place in Brooklyn. They did.
That's
well.
where the Cosby Show was. You see all the Cosby
they
Show.
did well.
That's literally right there. That school is right across the street from the church. All that, all that area. That's
where we grew up.
That's where we grew
in
up.
Clinton Hills. They worked very hard, and they didn't want us listening to any of that boom bap on the radio. And they took the drums out of the church, and I was mad.
And then that's when you went to do your own thing.
And this is about the time when I'm graduating from high school, and you're getting offered record deals, and people are telling you to come to the studio. So I would dip off to like other rehearsals where there were drums. I was looking for a sound. I was looking for a beat, and I didn't want to sing the. I didn't want to do that. I didn't want that, and they wanted me to want that, and there was some resistance there, and for a young person, and that's your entire identity. So you feel bad, kind of like, well. It's interesting because I've learned so much about that. I think it was good to have that gusto, but maybe I shouldn't have left so abruptly. Growing up now, I realize, as a young person, but I was just being an artist, and that was just my story. I was searching for a sound, and I realized that as I went to school or as I went throughout my life, that I would carry that desire for music everywhere that I go.
So how did you take? Because now we gotten older. I went to college, went to Liberty. And then there's a transition that happened from you leaving the home, doing your thing. Mm-hmm. And then I come back and we do the gig thing. Now, this is when you became Jameer, Prince Jameer, the artist to entrepreneur. Like, you started redoing the show. So, like, how did you know? Because this is before, like, really getting into the whole independent artist movement, because this is around MySpace, so this is like, okay, Ryan Leslie era, you know what I'm saying? That P. Diddy, like this is before like the independent era. He's like around that time, So like, when did you know? It was like, yo, I want to do my own shows at X, Y, and Z. Like, how did you know how to do what you did with that? Because I was there and it was like stressing, like. In a way, like you have all these different characters, different musicians, these promoters, these like, it's so not traumatizing. It was conflicting because we'd be out like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, and I got it from home. But it's so rewarding because people who don't know us, they're coming to the show. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I saw this on MySpace, I saw this, whatever, and then they're just coming in to these shows, and these shows are curated in like the village where. Like rock and roll venues, like Bitter End. This is where Donny Hathaway recorded his record, and Stevie Wonder and Jackson 5. He's doing R&B, hip hop in a rock and roll venues. You know what I'm saying? So like, how did you know you need to take that business and like
you don't know. That's the thing. And listening to you, I have to, when you go on a quest, there are people that get on the quest with you.
Yeah,
it's a bumpy ride, but you're driving. Their hand is flown out the window 2 blocks away. You're not aware, so it's good to hear you say that.
Yeah,
I didn't know. You don't know. You're just simply being who you are. And I think that's been my entire life. Is like I don't think about it. It's not there. Create it.
That's right.
Make it.
If it's not there,
create it. How can we get it there? I want to feel like it's there. I'm an artist, and that's where that is gonna come from. So I wasn't thinking to do it because it would be something. I mean, MySpace. You really trying to age us now, huh? Sheesh.
I'm putting you right there.
But I mean, but you know what happened?
We use what we got. We had to do. We use what we got.
Just like the karaoke machine, right?
Yeah.
Or but being from Brooklyn, back to the story. in the Village in New York City. New York City is Kenny's Castaways, Paul Colby's The Bitter End, places
Blue Note, yeah.
where Janis Joplin performed, and Alicia Keys. Certain hubs, such as this place right here, this is a hub.
Yeah, it is.
I literally, and I guess this is the pre-real estate guy in me, I went up to the place and said, hey, this is who I am. I can do this. And I didn't think about it.
That's not how the story goes.
No, I didn't think about it. And then I've since learned that there's a microeconomic system from the venue owner to the promoter to the bar back. And, you learn that when your band doesn't get paid.
It all happened from
a series of events
and how he get those venue people. And I remember it was a Russian lady, a Polish. She was really nice. She was nice. He was like, the lady, he's good.
Let's clarify.
Not in a demeaning way. He's a real gentleman. The way
because I don't know what this means.
You did that.
What is that?
When you did that, he did that to a lady. She blushed, and then weeks later, we had the residency. Come on, he cut the promoter. He just went straight to the lady, and he got all the residency. No one independently did what he did. Marie, that's what see. I'm not lying. Yeah. So he knows. You know what I'm saying? So he knows how to talk to the ladies. He knows how to talk to the guys, and get what you want. And I was like, oh shoot, I don't know. Because remember what you went to the source, and then she liked you so much, she talked to the venue owners, that's when we got the residencies. And now when you have a residency in New York, you either have to be a label owner or a studio owner, because they have students from NYU down the block do those things. He's the only independent artist. I'm giving you flowers because I don't think people respect enough what you've done, because they saw that side and they see real estate, you do successful things, but didn't realize in order for you to be successful in real estate, you had to be a people person. You literally talk to her. He's like, hey, you need water? Like, these people don't know who he is, and he's just coming in here like they know him. And that's the leverage. You actually care, and then they now giving you these dates to perform. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you for opening up that portal in time again. Sometimes we forget, things that we've done. And, a residency is when an independent artist, band, or musician goes to said venue and then has that conversation. Again, I was just full of love. You learn now to so we were there every month. I do remember that.
Actually, I feel like every 2 weeks. It was 2 weeks. It was the first Thursday and the first and fourth Thursday. And the reason why I remember this is because Friday, every first and third, I'd play at church. So first and fourth Thursday is Kenny's Castaways.
Well, it goes back to something that makes me appreciate how, even though I went up against Wakanda. They took the drums away. They taught us well, respect people, and I'm a young person, and I only grew up going to rehearsals every Saturday my whole life. So that was fun for me.
Yeah.
That's fun. That's not fun for you? It was fun for me. Every Saturday, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. my life was, and I'm 9, and you have rehearsal and you're seeing your friends.
You're putting the hours in though.
It's just like, okay, so this is what we do, because I made myself like it. So for those reasons, and being an artist and dealing with my environment at that age, I guess I didn't want to let that go.
Right.
And I felt like if I enjoyed that space, maybe other people would enjoy that space with me. So I said, okay,
there you go.
Let's go to Kenny's Castaways. And
we didn't get paid for a lot of these gigs, but again, it's not all about the money, because sometimes money comes with a cost. I always say that.